Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network for novel. Renzai Yingjiang borrows billions to build a post-apocalyptic base. Chen Feng was reborn 3 months before the outbreak of the apocalypse, awakening the Apocalyptic Fortress system. As one of the top 10 capitalists in Eagle Sauce country, he resolutely chose to borrow billions to build a post-apocalyptic base. Huaqi Bank. What? Did you lend me a poor loan? The Tong Bank. This is the god of wealth, we must take good care of it. Wells Fargo Bank. Big rich no, this is our dad. In just 3 months, the end of the world had arrived, but Chen Feng had already accumulated billions of supplies and stood at the top of the end of the world. Just as others were arguing over a moldy piece of food, Chen Feng was already surrounded by lights and wine in the fortress, with beautiful women embracing each other. The tide of corpses is coming, and no one else is surviving in other places, like a human purgatory. But killing zombies here is more of a daily entertainment. Years later, Chen Feng took control of the new order of the apocalypse, and the whole world crawled under his feet. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Reborn Eagle Sauce. Awakening to the post-apocalyptic base system. You are listening at novel full.audio. Due to the new unknown virus spreading, please all citizens of Eagle Sauce take personal protective measures. The relevant departments are currently searching for a cure for the virus. In a detached villa in the outskirts of Choyu, Chen Feng lay on the bed, looking at the news playing on the large LED screen in front of me. I fell into contemplation. Sure enough. Have you been reborn? Living. It's great. After a moment, he felt the surging power in his body in this peaceful time, taking a deep breath. Just half an hour ago, he is still searching for supplies and struggling to survive in a city full of ruins and mutated zombies. Yes, due to the spread of the virus, the world at that time had become a human purgatory, and all social order had already completely collapsed. Whether you were a billionaire with a net worth before, or a struggling worker at the bottom, there is no difference in front of the terrifying virus. As long as humans or organisms are parasitized by viruses, they will undergo terrifying mutations, like evil spirits. In the early stages, they would be as bloody and rotting as depicted in zombie movies, biting every person they see. In the later stages, even mutants will devour and evolve into more powerful zombie species. A powerful mutant, as tall as 2 buildings, can smash a ruin with just 1 punch. It's hard to imagine what kind of world it really is. And he unfortunately stepped on the ground and fell from the building just after fighting a group of zombies. But when he opened his eyes again, they found themselves reborn before the outbreak of the virus. At this moment, he is still the chairman of 3 listed companies and one of the top 10 capitalists in Huaqi Sauce country, possessing inexhaustible wealth and social status. He glanced at the date on his phone. October 5th. There are still 86 days left until the complete outbreak of the zombie virus. 3 months. That's Christmas Day in the West. Everything he has will turn into nothing. There's still time. What must be done? Chen Feng clenched his fist with a burning gaze and murmured softly. 3 months of time is neither long nor short, but it is necessary to prepare early. Suddenly, a crisp sound appeared in his mind. Ding, host rebirth completed detected. Doomsday War Fortress template is loading. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the loading reward. Doomsday War Fortress *1, storage space of 50 million cubic meters. Gene Enhancement Potion, B. Level, Black Radiant Alloy Armor *1, System. Chen Feng was slightly excited. As a fan of novels, he naturally knew that the golden finger had arrived. You know, the 2 most important things in the apocalypse are a strong shelter and sufficient food. He deeply understands this. In his previous life, in order to ensure a high-quality life, his food was all transported by air on the same day. So much so that when the end of the world approached, his family did not have much food. For this reason, he had to wander in a world full of zombies, attempting to find expired or even moldy food among the ruins. In this lifetime, he must make use of the storage space. Stock up enough supplies and fill up the storage space fiercely. And what he needs to do now, it is to turn all the assets in hand into materials. Immediately, his mind moved and he had an extra test tube in his hand. There is a blue and sparkling liquid inside. Without saying a word, take it orally. Although there is no strange smell. But a stream of heat flowed directly from his mouth into his limbs. Next came an indescribable heat and dryness. Click. Click. The sound of stretching muscles and bones is clear and audible. The muscles all over the body suddenly became strong and powerful. The lines of the body have become more solid. Chen Feng was surprised by the change in the strength of his body. He feels like he can kill an elephant with just one punch now. Host. Chen Feng. Strength. 513, 500, life. 510, 500, defense. 511, 500, speed. 515, 500, ability rating. B. Level awakened. Armor. Black radiant alloy armor, automatic repair function is turned on. Doomsday Fortress level. 1 upgrade conditions. Silver. 5,000, gold. 3,000, steel. 10000000. Quickly, he learned through the system what it meant to be a fortress of the end. In the early stage, he can purchase corresponding heavy metals such as steel, upgrade the fortress. In the fortress, he will be a creator-like existence. Have absolute control. In the later stage, he must upgrade the fortress by killing a sufficient number of zombies. The higher the level of a fortress, the stronger its protection. Dust. What's wrong with you? While Chen Feng was still studying, a rustling sound pulled his mind back. He looked over, only then did I realize that there was still a naked, blonde, and blue-eyed ocean horse lying beside me, which was the butler Yinaifa. Coincidentally, if you have time, we can study it again and get started with hoarding supplies. Yinaifa. Go and call my secretary over. Hurry up. Chen Feng didn't have time to inject patriotism at this moment, so he immediately ordered. Ah. Good. Although Yinaifa was a bit confused, but I hurriedly put on my clothes and went to execute the command. Boss. 20.3 billion is currently all of our liquid funds. This does not include your property and the 2 government-funded buildings in Times Square. Besides, your medical electronic information. Quickly, a little secretary named Therese presented financial statements to Chen Feng. Upon hearing this, Chen Feng nodded slightly and instructed the butler. Yinaifa. Starting from today, I need you to purchase sufficient daily necessities now. In terms of funding, let's start with this. Freshwater, 10,000 tons first. Rice, 5,000 tons. Seafood. Steel. Upon hearing Chen Feng's command, Yinaifa was immediately taken aback. His eyes were filled with great doubts. Why is it suddenly okay? Do you need to buy so many supplies? Also. Therese, please contact Pete. Just say I want to take out a large loan. Ha. As soon as these words were spoken, the secretary beside him was also full of astonishment. You know, with a funding of 20.3 billion, what projects can't be completed? Does the CEO still need a loan? Is this about building a spaceship? Looking at the 2 bewildered foreign girls in front, Chen Feng smiled and said. Don't worry so much. Put the things in the back warehouse. After giving instructions, Chen Feng drove straight with Therese towards the financial center of Eagle Sauce country. Although there are still 3 months left, we must race against time to do anything. Who knows, will the end of the world come earlier this time? Chapter 2. A loan of $100 billion. Scaring the silly flower. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Huaqi Bank. It is the largest profitable bank in Eagle Sauce country. The headquarters is located on Park Avenue in Chiu City. In the CEO's office, Pete, dressed in a suit and leather shoes, had just hung up the phone when he jumped up from his chair and ordered the secretary next to him. Mr. Chen. Surprisingly, you want a large loan. Oh my God. Hurry up. Get ready for the highest scale and welcome our God of wealth. Even though he held a high position, he couldn't help feeling a little excited in his heart. After all, Chen Feng is one of the major capitalists of the entire Eagle Sauce country, monopolizing the three major industries of electronic technology, pharmaceutical science, and aviation equipment. Such a big shot wants to borrow money from them, it will be a great impact enhancement for both his personal and company level. For a moment, the entire company became busy. The hundreds of meters long red carpet has been laid from the street into the hall. The etiquette lady with blonde hair and blue eyes, and a graceful figure, is already waiting in black silk. The salute gun is ready, even the security personnel are holding their heads high, and the magazine of their weapons is tightly packed. This scene made the elites working nearby jump with excitement. Ward Falk. Is this to welcome the president? Have you really never seen the Citibank battle before? Every financial elite has stopped one after another, eagerly anticipating to see and witness this great figure. Soon, a Rolls-Royce slowly stopped. The bodyguard got off the car and opened the door. At the moment when Chen Feng got out of the car, many business elites took a deep breath. Oh my God. Surprisingly, it's Mr. Chen. Oh my God, can I actually see Mr. Dust? So handsome, I feel like my heart is about to jump out. The business elites were incredulous and ordered to cover their faces in surprise, even some female elites looked at Chen Feng with a hint of tension in their eyes. Oh. My God. Mr. Dust. Welcome, my friend. Suddenly, Pete applied it like a dog skin ointment. Hello. Let's get straight to the topic, right? Chen Feng waved his hand in disgust and walked first towards the Huaqi building. For this type of white pig, he looks down on him from the bottom of his heart. Even if you often spray perfume, I can't stop their disgusting body odor either. Especially as the end of the world approaches, who has time to chat with him? After the apocalypse, social order has completely collapsed. No matter how much money you borrow, you don't have to repay it. Serve him with the money from Eagle Sauce. Reserve living supplies for him, just think about it and feel comfortable. Ha. Mr. Chen is really swift and decisive. Pete is not awkward either, still following behind Chen Feng like a puppy. Waiting in the conference room, many senior executives at Citigroup have already rushed over, with smiles on their faces. For them, today is definitely a big day. I'll make a long story short. I'm here this time to get a loan for future projects. The amount is very large, it's hard to believe you can eat it. Just as he sat down, Chen Feng came straight to the point, the aura is majestic, and the superior's aura is fully displayed. Mr. Chen is still grand. Don't worry. As long as you say, even if we sell the company, we will have to lend it to you to achieve your dreams. Pete patted his chest and assured. Chen Feng has not yet stated the amount, his face is almost bursting with laughter. If it weren't for the current high population, he probably has to kneel down and lick his leather shoes. Oh. Upon hearing this, Chen Feng's lips curved into a smile and he sarcastically said. Do I need 100 billion? I don't know if I can eat it. As soon as these words are spoken, just now, Pete, who was still smiling, trembled with fear, almost didn't even stand firm. Puzzy. Ha. Mr. Chen. You're not joking, are you? Pete was all dumbfounded, his smile frozen and trembling as he spoke. What is the concept of 100 billion yuan? Its market value is only around $20 billion. If you buy it, you can buy 5 of their company as a whole. Although they are very wealthy, their working capital can indeed reach as much as 100 billion yuan. But funds need to flow. If they really borrowed 100 billion yuan, their bank would have to close down the next day. If I really borrowed so much, a year's interest costs hundreds of billions, right? Are you joking? Humph. Are you worth my joke? 50 billion 3 months' time. Can you get it? Chen Feng gave a cold smile and said very contemptuously. This. Mr. Chen. You. Pete got stuck, he's really dumbfounded. I thought that Chen Feng's loan of several billion yuan, at most 10 billion yuan, would be the limit. I didn't expect the loan to be so big. Is this really about building a spaceship? Even other senior executives were foolish, with a numb expression on their faces. It seems. It's nothing more than that. Let me go to JP Chase Bank to take a look. Speaking, Chen Feng stood up directly and walked out. For greedy Eagle Sauce pigs, they would never give up such a large loan. This move of playing hard to get is absolutely effective. And what he needs to do, just borrow as much as you can, and turn cash into materials as soon as possible. 30 billion. We can lend Mr. Chen Feng 30 billion. Sure enough, Pete was in a hurry to cry. He gritted his teeth and shouted out, looking expectantly at Chen Feng. Oh. Sign the contract now. Upon hearing this, Chen Feng didn't leave a trace of ink, only a slight smile curved from the corner of his mouth. Chapter 3. Loans of Billions, Crazy Hoarding. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Huaqi's payment speed is very fast. In just a few hours, $30 billion flowed directly into Chen Feng's account. However, Chen Feng also took Eagle Sauce Aviation Technology Equipment Company and some real estate as collateral. The loan period is 3 months. Looking at the countless zeros behind 3, Chen Feng felt a tingling sensation in his heart. It can also be considered that the white pig has made some contribution to him. Now, he already has $50 billion in cash in his hands. Mr. Chen Feng. Can I have dinner with you? Pete, whose face was about to burst into laughter, at this moment, standing in front of Chen Feng's Rolls-Royce with a flattering expression on his face, he invited him. After all, with this loan, his position as CEO has become very stable. To a large extent, it is not an exaggeration for Chen Feng to say that he is his benefactor. Bang! Go to Tong. Yes. Chen Feng closed the car door without paying any attention to him and instructed the driver. Mr. Chen. Do you have time to have coffee together? Pete reluctantly followed for 2 steps before waving goodbye. Soon, Chen Feng arrived at the Datong Center. The Tong Bank still uses the highest scale for reception. 100 billion. Oh my God. Mr. Chen Feng, you didn't tease me, did you? Do you really need to borrow so much? In the office, Morgan, the president of JP Chase, spread out his hands in disbelief. 100 billion, even for giants like them, it is astronomical. Don't say it's a bank in Eagle Sauce country, even any large bank in the world cannot gather so much in a short period of time. 50 billion. Mortgage my pharmaceutical technology company. Chen Feng crossed his legs and spread his hands, saying. For him, if he can mortgage it now, he can put it all in. If it's normal, this is a huge risk. If it's not uploaded yet, it's really gone. But now, it's definitely an empty-handed trap for a white wolf. Hiss. How brave is Mr. Chen? How could you be so willing? Sure enough, when Morgan heard that Chen Feng had used a pharmaceutical company as collateral, his eyes lit up instantly. 40 billion. Our bottom line is now, Mr. Chen. After all, your company's valuation is just that much. Morgan furrowed his brow and looked somewhat embarrassed, as if borrowing 40 billion would result in a loss. These greedy white pigs are still thinking about capital and maximizing the benefits of their business when a big disaster comes. 45 billion. Without it, there's no need to talk about it. I believe you will make the right choice. After speaking, Chen Feng directly lit a cigar and took a comfortable puff. This deal. In just one day, Chen Feng raised $75 billion in funds, plus the original $20 billion, resulting in a total working capital of nearly 100 billion. It can be said that wealth is comparable to that of a country. With this money, he used it all to hoard supplies, weapons and equipment, and secretly started to sneak away. After all, if the apocalypse erupts, what assets? What cash? That's just a piece of waste paper. Scratching your buttocks first makes you panic. Looking at the continuous flow of funds in his hand, Chen Feng coldly smiled and said, "Have fun. Can you still be happy when the virus breaks out?" They all turned into that disgusting thing. On the side, Therese looked at Chen Feng with some concern. This afternoon, it can really be said that I watched her heart skip a beat. In her opinion, no matter what her boss does next, it is undoubtedly a big gamble. If you lose the bet, you'll just lose everything and there's no chance of a comeback. Approaching evening, Chen Feng only returned to the villa. Boss. I have already ordered rice and fresh water, along with the steel resources you specified. Including shipping costs, the total cost is $1,200. They can deliver it in the early morning. As soon as he entered the villa, the butler Yi Naifa welcomed him. Upon hearing this, Chen Feng frowned tightly. It's not that I'm dissatisfied with the execution of the Yinaifa. But the speed of spending money is indeed too slow. Did you only spend $120,000 in the afternoon? I haven't even reached the tip of my hair. Now, money is not important, what is important is supplies. If a fortress is built later, it will definitely need to develop, find people, and support people. Opening your mouth is an incalculable consumption. However, he knew that Yi Naifa was definitely trying to avoid suspicion. Very good. Later, I'll write down the purchase order. Starting from tomorrow, all the goods on the list must be purchased. After praising Chen Feng, once again, there is no doubt in ordering. Okay. Yi Naifa was stunned for a moment, but I still agreed. Although she's a bit confused about what the boss wants to do. But as one of the women closest to the boss, support is enough. Go back to the room. Chen Feng sat at his desk, starting to write and draw. Flour. 20,000 tons. Instant noodles. 300,000 boxes. Miscellaneous grains. 20,000 tons. Seafood. 10,000 tons. Pork. 12,000 tons can. Beef. Chen Feng murmured softly while writing. Although these are very basic foods, but I can't care too much now. Continuing to pursue high-quality ingredients like before is definitely not feasible. Chapter 4. Billions of cash flows. Shake all Eagle Sauce. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The matter of Chen Feng taking out a large loan was like a gust of wind, instantly swept across the entire Eagle Sauce country. For a while, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Even major media outlets are competing to report on it, it can be said that it instantly became a hot topic of discussion in the United States. The videos are mostly shot from various angles, and Chen Feng appears at two major banks, the scene of receiving the highest standard of reception. The scene is very shocking. Therefore, various social media apps, the people below the comments section are all crazy. Ward Falk. Borrowing billions at once. Are you going to buy Alaska? How much is 100 billion yuan in cash? I can't even think about it. Who can tell me what the concept is? So much money, can't it be spent in 100 lifetimes? If I had this money, I would definitely buy a house, a car, Can't spend it all, how distressed is it? Why can he borrow so much? But I can't lend a penny. Sure enough, no matter which country, the topic of money is never taboo. There is jealousy, there is envy, and various emotions emerge endlessly. Yingjiang Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceutical Company. What is Mr. Chen doing? Is he really too crazy? Company Director Edward frowned as he watched the news of Chen Feng's large loan. After all, Johnson & Johnson's failure to become the largest pharmaceutical company in Yingjiang and the suppression of Chen Feng's Tianhui pharmaceutical factory are closely related. He is very vigilant about any action taken by Tianhui. Boss. I have already contacted Hong. They said Mr. Dust mortgaged Tianhui Pharmaceutical and took out $45 billion. The borrowing period is 3 months. Beside him, a subordinate wearing a suit reported. Water facts. Mortgaged Tianhui Pharmaceutical. What kind of ghost? Edward was bewildered, he felt his brain could no longer turn. According to his ideas, Tianhui Pharmaceutical must make big moves. It is very likely that we need to study an unknown pharmaceutical project to completely suppress them. But he didn't expect Chen Feng to even mortgage Tianhui Pharmaceutical. This indicates that the other party either has full confidence, either it's just a crazy fight. But in either case, it's enough for him to be nervous and unable to sleep soundly. Bill, go check it out. What exactly do they want? They're making me confused for a while, aren't they? Edward pondered for a moment, then anxiously ordered. At this point, he believes that even if there are only a few clues, you can guess what Tianhui is going to do, which is the confidence of his top capitalist. Chen Feng closed the online forum, a cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He didn't have to think about it, but he knew that due to his big moves and lack of concealment, his competitors might have panicked. However, this is not important anymore, the top priority now is still to stockpile sufficient supplies. In addition to rice, flour, instant noodles. Basic foods such as wheat, corn, millet, and glutinous rice must all come in at least 10,000 tons. Basic foods alone are not enough. Chicken, duck, beef, pork, fish, seafood, and aquatic products must also be prepared in advance. Chen Feng was smoking his cigar, constantly calculating in his heart. After all, after the outbreak of the zombie virus, the ecological chain of the entire world has also undergone unimaginable destruction. Whether it's poultry or wild animals, 99% are infected with the virus. At that time, their meat will become inedible. What's even more shocking is that in some forests, the body length of fierce beasts is over 10 meters, completely like the existence of mountain and sea giants. The ocean is also polluted, some whales can even grow up to a kilometer in length, covered in viruses and carrion, and even have sharp teeth in their mouths like sharks. What's even more unimaginable is that, these marine giants, due to virus infection, are not limited to wandering in the ocean, but can even come to land and devour each other for advancement. Since that's the case. In terms of aquatic products, such as carp, yellow croaker, snails, and shrimp. In terms of seafood, lobster, oysters, scallops, hairtail, grouper, salmon. Seaweed. Bring 5,000 tons each. With these things he can eat on his own, not to mention for 10 lifetimes, he can't even finish them for 100 lifetimes. In this case, there is basically no problem with meat and basic foods, and eating seafood all day can also bring happiness for a lifetime. And, in the apocalypse, these clean meats are all hard currency, and when converted to today, they are definitely like gold. Moreover, in today's Eagle Sauce country, meat is not worth any money at all, and even a lump of beef is not as expensive as vegetables. Thinking of this, Chen Feng slapped his thigh. Yes, he's just thinking about hoarding these basic foods and hard currency. Things like vegetables and fruits are also essential. If you only eat meat, daily constipation can be quite uncomfortable. If you only hoard food, it's not possible. After all, one day the food will be finished. Sufficient crop seeds must be planted in order to achieve self-sufficiency. Is it really a bit of a brain teaser? Chen Feng rubbed his temples. Just thinking about these is already causing the temples to swell. P.S. The opening data of the new book is very important. The author is seeking free flowers and review tickets. If the data is good, the author will add 10 chapters today. Chapter 5. Don't take advantage of the advantages, that's not a bastard. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chen Feng made a list. After a simple tidying up, I am ready to continue to go to the financial center for a loan. Time is tight, tasks are heavy. Based on his asset estimate, my assets are estimated to be able to mortgage around 50 billion yuan in cash. Let's get these things sorted out today. You can focus on stocking up now. Dong dong dot. Chen Feng was wearing clothes when the room door was knocked on. Enter. After obtaining Chen Feng's permission, Therese walked in wearing high heels and reported. Boss. A strange phone call has arrived here. I said I have the business you need to chat with you. Upon hearing this, Chen Feng frowned, but still answered the phone. You know, his phone numbers are layered and very covert. It's not easy to know his phone number. Since you can call as an unfamiliar phone number, it shows that the other party has a lot of strength. At least in some aspects. Hello. I am Chen Feng. Are you? Chen Feng asked in a cold tone. Ha. Hello Mr. Chen. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Carpen Payne from the Beehive organization. I heard that you need a lot of funds recently. I wonder if we can collaborate with you. Across from the phone, a nonchalant voice came, with a frivolous tone. But it goes straight to the theme. Beehive. Carpen Payne. Upon hearing this, Chen Feng was momentarily taken aback. Immediately, they chuckled. He is naturally quite familiar with honeycomb tissue. Firstly, before the end of the world, this is the largest underground gang active in Eagle Sauce country. Long-term control over the red light area of Eagle Sauce country, illegal transactions such as second-hand weapons, high-interest loans, rock sugar, smuggling, private, and gambling. Belonging to the largest criminal group in Eagle Sauce country. And Carpen Payne is also known as the underground emperor of Eagle Sauce, the angel of hell. And during the apocalyptic period, Carpen Payne, with some luck, became an A-level awakener. Established a strong fortress and shelter in a certain area, still a local emperor. If you evaluate this person, it does have a bit of a legendary flavor. But until now, Carpen Payne is undoubtedly like a shark smelling meat. He knows he needs money, so I want to take the opportunity to make a profit. Of course, he must have provided a high-interest loan, the kind that even brings profits several times higher. However, 3 months later, the end of the world will come. Who can still repay it? Isn't this equivalent to delivering meat to one's own mouth? Do not take advantage of the cheap, that impure bastard. How much can you borrow? Thinking of this, Chen Feng asked happily. Ha. Is Mr. Dust just refreshing? How about we lend you 15 billion yuan? Upon hearing this, Carpen Payne replied with great pride. Does he know that this big client hasn't run away? 15 billion. Are you wasting my time? Chen Feng smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth and sneered. Ah. Mr. Dust. Are you? Obviously, facing the direct confusion, he personally thinks that it would be good if Chen Feng could lend him 15 billion yuan. I didn't expect my appetite to be so strong. Don't even pay attention to 15 billion. And they are high-interest loans. If we borrow 15 billion yuan for a month, the interest alone would cost several billion yuan. Over 20 billion, if it's below this number, don't waste time. Chen Feng said directly in an unquestionable tone. High-interest loans. Is it your high-interest loan that I borrowed? Ha. This. Okay. When will we trade? Carpen Payne hesitated for a moment before finally gritting his teeth and agreeing. Although this amount has greatly exceeded his expectations. But at least the interest is very objective. After all, their gang also wants money, who can blame themselves for not earning enough money. Tonight at 8 o'clock, Norby. Wait for my call. Chen Feng hesitated for a moment and confirmed the time. It's easy to say. Can you please do it then? Even Carpen Payne didn't leave a trace, so he readily agreed. The Norby Hotel is one of the largest hotels in terms of ugliness. Whether it's a transaction or negotiation, it's the best place. The safety factor can also be fully guaranteed. Oh dear. Today is really a good day, isn't it? Click. After hanging up the phone, Carpen Payne drank the shaken red wine in one gulp. His face was filled with greed and excitement. Congratulations, boss. Did it become a big deal again? A seductive woman with a charming expression congratulated on the body of Carpen Payne. Ha. Enjoy yourself. Talking about business with wealthy people is just a pleasure. Carpen Payne just feels like he's going to explode. A principal of 20 billion yuan, 3 months is a profit of several billion yuan. The thought of bathing in the pile of beautiful knives made him unable to suppress his excitement. Speaking, he fiercely ravaged the enchanting woman's fruit body for 2 times. The woman let out a charming cry. Damn it. Stinky bitch, you're making me very angry like this. Chapter 6. World's richest person. The world's #1 loser. Mind him. You are listening at novel full.audio. While all the people of Eagle Sauce country are still immersed in the tranquility of time, but they didn't know that the big mouth of the crisis had already opened up to them. The ugliness of the night, it emits the scent of money and hormones, making people intoxicated. The moon in the sky emits a charming radiance, like the last trace of tranquility before the end of the world. Eagle Sauce Fargo Bank. Chen Feng walked slowly out of the hall. Following behind are a group of senior executives from Fargo Bank. Mr. Chen. Thank you for taking care of our business. The reception was not good this time. I hope to have dinner with you when I have time. The president of Wells Fargo Bank had a sycophantic expression on his face. Carefully follow the god of wealth in front of you. This time, Fargo Bank has made a big deal. A total of 25 billion yuan in loans. And the loan period is only 3 months. Short cycle, high returns. You should know that a loan of such a huge amount, with just 1 month of interest, is worth over 10 billion yuan. Enough to cover their annual revenue. For this kind of good business, they can take as much as they can. If it's normal, with such a large loan amount, the procedures at each bank are very slow. But Chen Feng's identity is there, and his credit is also there. No one wants to miss this great opportunity to make money. I hope so. Chen Feng looked at the bright moon in the sky, then a thought-provoking smile appeared. Please walk slowly. Go to Norb. After getting on the car, Chen Feng instructed the driver. Today's time of the day, it can be said that all the assets that can be mortgaged on the body have been mortgaged. I have fully borrowed $55 billion from major banks. Until now, he has a total cash flow of $125 billion. What is this concept? The cost of the International Space Station in Eagle Sauce country is around $27 billion, his money is enough to build 5. If a person can earn $1 million a year, it takes 125,000 years to earn. You can say that, if he ranks wealth in cash, he can be called the world's richest person. At this point, Norby Hotel, it has been fully booked from top to bottom. Off-site, countless underworld organizations, security personnel with live ammunition, bullets compacted, ready to stand guard. Some shadows even hide snipers, like an assassin in the dark night. Obstacles one by one, completely blocking the bustling avenue. On the street, countless police cars pulling their sirens, the police officers held flashing batons to direct passing vehicles to turn around or walk on changing streets. In the sky, several helicopters are hovering, the wings were blowing loudly. The huge lighting makes the area illuminated bright as daylight. And this, it is the strength of the underground emperor of Eagle Sauce Kingdom. Ward Falk. What exactly is going on? Is there a helicopter in the sky? Is there such a big battle? We have all booked rooms, why were we kicked out? Can't you do this to us? For a moment, both tourists and ugly citizens were shocked. Where have they seen this show before? Is that all for the presidential parade? The banquet hall on the top floor, Carpen Payne was smoking a cigarette, the smile at the corner of my mouth is almost cracking. Even with so much money and wealth, he cannot conceal his excitement. Ding dong dot. Accompanied by the sound of exclusive elevators. Chen Feng's figure slowly walked into the venue. A group of bodyguards behind them, orderly surrounding them in the middle. In addition, other bodyguards stood in designated positions to ensure the personal safety of Chen Feng. These are all the Blackthorn security companies under Chen Feng's command, strong strength and excellent business capabilities. Oh my! My friend! I didn't expect you to be on time for the appointment, I'm so happy. As soon as Chen Feng appeared, Carpen Payne opened his hands and embraced him. Let's skip it. It's important for us to get down to business. Chen Feng waved his hand and refused, his face full of disgust. Until now, he has finally seen through this legendary figure in front of him. A large scar runs across the right face, almost cutting open the entire face. Full of golden teeth, wearing a brown suit, hanging a large gold chain, it is the combination of formal and unfashionable. It also matches his arrogant personality. Ah, ha. Mr. Chen Feng is truly deserving of his reputation. Carpen Payne didn't feel embarrassed either, spread out your hands, pretending to be carefree. If in the apocalypse of that time, one's own identity is completely impossible to see the other person. But revive the world's external edition system, this guy is just a big loser, not enough to watch. Ha! Mr. Chen, the 20 billion you need is ready. Sign the contract and receive it immediately. As soon as he sat down, Carpen Payne rubbed his chin and said. Seeing this, Chen Feng is not talking nonsense, signal the lawyer to come forward and check the contract on the table. In fact, bringing a lawyer is just a formal process. Boss, no problem. After a moment, the lawyer leaned over to Chen Feng's ear and replied. Brush and brush. Upon hearing this, Chen Feng immediately signed his name on the contract. Ding dong. Quickly, the secretary reminded that 20 billion yuan will be credited. Chapter 7. Bastard, you're worth to do it in front of me. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Watching Chen Feng sign his name on the contract, Carpen Payne almost jumped up in excitement. The greed in one's eyes is no longer taboo. For him, he thinks he's a robber with such high interest. But unexpectedly, Chen Feng didn't even blink his eyelids. Pop pop pop. Is Mr. Chen really my god? No matter what Mr. Chen does next. I can only say that the military is thriving. Carpen Payne clapped his hands happily and said a blessing in broken dragon language. But I still hope Mr. Chen can repay on time. At this moment, his fully exposed face and eyes were burning as he looked at Chen Feng. He knows very well in his heart, during this period, Chen Feng has been known as Mr. Billion, the amount of debt on my body is terrifying. No matter what he does, if he fails, it will definitely be completely useless. Oh. Do you think I'll take advantage of your money? Chen Feng gave a cold smile, with a murderous intent flashing in his eyes. Do you have any money? Sorry, it's just your money. When the time comes, not only will I waste your money, and even tied you up like a dog. No, it's a pig. Ah ha ha dot. That's the best. Let go of me dot. You animals dot. You can't do this dot. Carpen Payne was speaking when a noisy voice suddenly rang out. The next moment, I saw a blonde with blue eyes and a stunning appearance, a woman who looked exactly like Meredith was being tied up in a humiliating posture. Boss. This woman wants to default dot. We tied him up. Several Ni's bodyguards stood with the woman and threw him directly in front of their own boss. Seeing this, Chen Feng furrowed his brow fiercely. I couldn't help but sneer in my heart. He has seen too much of this kind of drama. If nothing unexpected happens, next, Carpen Payne will kill this woman on the spot. Simply put, it means acting in front of him, warning him of the consequences of not repaying the money. However, when he saw the woman's face, a familiar feeling rushed to his mind. Anna. In an instant, he recalled it. He is too familiar with this woman. After the apocalypse, Anna also luckily became an awakener. And he is also an incredibly powerful awakener, code name is Queen. Yes, 6 months after the end of the world, in order to fight against zombies and increasingly powerful mutated monsters, humans gradually awaken their genes and unlock various abilities. The ability of awakened individuals ranges from low to high, E9 levels including D, C, B, A, S, SS, SSS, and US. And awakening individuals are mainly divided into 5 categories. Fighter. Muscles, body, speed, and defense have been strengthened. Elemental Master. Can manipulate natural attributes such as wind, rain, lightning, fire, soil, ice, and water. Singer. Healing, power boosting. Alchemist. A person who manufactures superpower potions and various control items. Mechanist. Craft apocalyptic weapons, enchant. These 5 types of people. The higher the level, the stronger the strength. Although Chen Feng was also awakened and a fighter at the time, he was the lowest level E, and it's also an awakening in terms of speed. At most, it's just a normal mutant zombie. On the other hand, Anna, directly awakened to become an SSS-level elemental master. And slaughtered most of the zombies in a state of Eagle Sauce country, establishing Happy Valley. Unexpected. What a surprise. Chen Feng himself couldn't believe that this life would be so coincidental. Who could have thought of it at the same time, before the end of the world, Anna has such an unknown side, just a little girl who is also tormented by life. But now, looking at it, Anna's situation is very bad. It is highly likely to be directly executed by Carpen Payne. At this moment, Chen Feng's heart was faintly restless. If we can save it now, then we will make a lot of money. Aha dot. This kind of guy who doesn't pay back dot. I should have been thrown to feed the fish, don't let her dirty my eyes. Carpen Payne waved his hand with a disdainful expression, gesturing for his men to take action directly. You scumbags. It's hard to die. God will punish you. Anna's face was covered in tears, desperately cursing loudly. Life has made her lose hope, she is almost driven crazy by debt. But the next moment, Chen Feng gave a glance, the bodyguard under his command directly aimed the gun at Nige's head, who was about to take action. Click. Click. For a while, in the room, weapons from both factions were loaded together, aiming at their respective opponents. The scene suddenly became tense, full of gunpowder. It seems like a gun can be fired at any time. Mr. Dust. Carpen Payne's eyes twitched and his expression turned cold. Before he could finish speaking, Chen Feng said fiercely. Bastards! Are you going too far? Don't play this kind of drama in front of me, you don't have the qualifications. All business people, don't make it look so ugly. Chen Feng's expression showed no fear at all. For him, with his current B.level strength, even catching bullets with bare hands is an easy task. If it weren't for unnecessary trouble, Carpen Payne would have fallen to the ground by now. Chapter 8. Are you joking? This is just a joke. You are listening at novel full.audio. Don't play this kind of drama in front of me, you don't have the qualifications. All business people, don't make it look so ugly. The voice of Chen Feng, echoing in the magnificent conference hall. As soon as these words are spoken, as the leader of the beehive, Carpen Payne's face was as ugly as eating shit. The corners of my mouth are twitching unconsciously. Having controlled the underground world of Eagle Sauce country for so long, no one dares to curse him so bluntly. This was undoubtedly a slap in his face. Mr. Dust. Do you know what you're talking about? Carpen Payne gritted his back teeth and said fiercely. Even if he just made a deal with the other party, it doesn't affect him to turn his back now. Oh. Upon hearing this, Chen Feng sneered contemptuously, staring straight at Carpen Payne with his eyes hooked. A breath of king erupted completely. If you dare to howl again, your head will be hung on Times Square tomorrow. I promise. Chen Feng said coldly. The current Carpen Payne, just an ordinary person. He doesn't understand at all, what kind of strength does a B.level awakener possess. Now, let alone bullets, even bombs cannot cause any damage to Chen Feng. Carpen Payne looked at Chen Feng's gaze and was taken aback. The piercing chill pierced through his tailbone, making him instantly clear-headed. He suddenly realized that, Chen Feng in front of me is one of the top 10 capitalists in the United States. A capitalist who can control American medicine, electronic technology, aerospace materials. Both in terms of ability and means, they are top-notch. Just now, indeed, I was blinded by the debts of money and Chen Feng. On the other hand, upon reflection, his actions are really dangerous. Even if he is an underground emperor, he is really not worth looking at in front of this capitalist. Ha ha ha. Mr. Chen, I apologize to you. Just now. It was just a little joke. Carpen Payne broke out in a cold sweat, and he chuckled with both hands, speaking in a relaxed tone. Are you joking? Is this joke really dangerous? How about I tell you, what is joking? Chen Feng stood up and looked down at Carpen Payne from a high position. The next moment, he took the gun from the bodyguard's hand and fired directly at Go behind Anna. Bang! Wow! Suddenly, Nige's head, just like a watermelon exploding. Scarlet blood and brain plasma burst out instantly, the body collapsed limply. The pungent smell of blood permeates the entire hall, making it nauseating. Ah! Anna is like a frightened kitten, try to cover your mouth and not make any noise. Tears burst like a flood, spilling out of her eye sockets. She is just a college student, she has never seen such a scene before. Wow! Wow! Click! With the sound of gunfire, the tense atmosphere on site reached its peak. The security personnel on both sides raised their weapons and aimed at the nearest person. As long as both bosses give a command, a criminal case that will shock the entire United States will occur tomorrow. Ha ha ha. Boss Chen, well done. Carpen Payne's lips twitched fiercely twice. Although he was very unhappy in his heart, he still suppressed his anger and fear and gave Chen Feng a thumbs up. Remember. This is just a joke. Chen Feng raised the corner of his mouth. Return the gun to your own security personnel. If it weren't for killing Carpen Payne, it would have been a bit troublesome. It may even trigger an investigation by Buddha, and his head can really hang on Times Square tonight. I'm glad to be able to deal with Mr. Chen. Dragon People. South Bo Wan. Number 1, Carpen Payne cleverly descended the steps. This woman's account. Even if it's on my head. No problem, right? Immediately, Chen Feng glanced at Anna, raised his head slightly, and asked Carpen Pell. That's nature. We must sell Mr. Dust to save face. Carpen Pell still plays haha, just consider it a favor to push the boat with the flow. Anna looked at Chen Feng with a look of envy in her eyes. Upon seeing this, Chen Feng walked up to Anna, pinched her face, and said with a condescending voice. All right. From today on, you will be my person. If you want to kneel, you can only kneel on me. Do you understand? Upon hearing this, Anna's heart was in turmoil and she stuttered in response, saying. Listen. I understand, master. At this moment, she can be said to be deeply moved. She is just a poor female college student, how could someone save her so much? For her, undoubtedly, it was a ray of dawn in the boundless darkness that saved her from the abyss. At this moment, she had already regarded Chen Feng as her master from the bottom of her heart. This is the matter. Chen Feng turned his head and left directly. The security personnel behind were also vigilant as they surrounded Chen Feng in the middle. Fake. Fake. Seeing Chen Feng leave, Carpen Payne instantly howled helplessly and angrily. Bang! 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 Immediately, he snatched a gun from his subordinates, shooting wildly at Nige's body. It almost turned into a pile of rotten meat. Chapter 9. Thank me. How should you thank you? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chen Feng's convoy slowly drove out of Times Square, heading towards a detached villa. Looking at Anna curled up beside her, Chen Feng's lips curved into a smile. To be honest, his heart is still very happy. Not only did they spend 20 billion yuan on prostitution today, most importantly, I also found a super large treasure. Although it's not clear yet, but when the genes awaken, she can definitely become the proudest assassin in her apocalypse. Anna just feels like she's on a roller coaster today. Until now, my mood has not been calmed down. Due to the inability to repay the high loan borrowed from school, she was caught by the honeycomb organization, almost executed. At this moment, a handsome person, the decisive capitalist, appeared in front of her and pulled her back from despair. She never thought about it, the plot in this novel actually happened to her. What does this naturally mean to her inexperienced self? Inadvertently, she raised her head slightly and looked at Chen Feng's profile. The beating of her heart almost made her unable to suppress it. Boss. All the goods we recently ordered have been delivered to the warehouse. Subsequent orders are still arriving gradually. As soon as the car entered the villa, the butler Yi Naifa came forward to report. Very good. Starting tomorrow, let's split up and take action. I am responsible for outdoor procurement. You are fully responsible for transportation and warehousing. Upon hearing Yi Naifa's report, Chen Feng nodded with great satisfaction and immediately instructed. Yes. Boss. Yi Naifa answered with a serious expression on his face. By the way, let her go tidy up. Chen Feng pointed to Anna and then walked straight into the villa without looking back. Anna, at this moment, the shock in my heart is beyond measure. She had never seen such a huge villa before. Or rather, it only exists in his imagination. A security guard dressed in black is like a guard in the dark, giving people a shocking sense of oppression just by looking at them. This feeling is like the shock she had when she first came to New York. Come with me. Just as she was stunned, Yi Naifa's voice pulled her thoughts back. Oh. Good. After speaking, Anna followed cautiously behind. Who? Enough. It's time to get down to business. Go back to the room. Chen Feng looked at the list in front of him and took a deep breath. Now, the funds are fully sufficient, the remaining nearly 3 months is the time to stock up on enough supplies. If nothing unexpected happens, during Christmas month, Eagle Sauce will close its borders and suspend flights. The signs of the end will be revealed. Thinking of this, Chen Feng opened the forums and Douyin software of Dragon Country. At first glance, most of the hot news is about him taking out a loan. It is evident that, the impact of the Chen Feng loan incident. Below, many netizens from Longhua have commented on it. Sleeping trough, is Mr. Chen actually our dragon people? That's right, although Mr. Chen is from our dragon tribe, he monopolizes the entire industry of Eagle Sauce's lifeline. Chen Zong Nyobi, it's really the light of our dragon kingdom. So many loans. Too much money, right? If we were to rank by cash, the world's richest person would be us Dragon JPG. Ah. Mr. Chen looks so handsome. He's both wealthy and wealthy. Looking at these comments, Chen Feng's heart was slightly touched. 3 months later, global disasters mutate, and no one is immune. Most of these netizens will mutate and become monsters. Although, he's not the Virgin Mary, but if you can remind me, let me remind you a little bit. Immediately, he edited a post. There may be major events before New Year's Day. Reserve more supplies and daily necessities, and wish everyone good luck. Subsequently, a heat of $100,000 was invested. Help as many people as you can. Dong dong. Chen Feng had just turned off his computer when the door was knocked on. Enter. After receiving the order from Chen Feng, the door opened. I see, Anna was dressed in sexy pajamas, the soft head casually drapes over the shoulders, wearing black silk on his legs, lowering his head, he cautiously moved in. At this point, her face was already flushed, my body is still a bit unnatural. Master. I've packed up. Anna spoke softly with a reserved expression. Ha. Don't be so nervous. Walking in, I won't eat you. Seeing this, Chen Feng was a bit amused and waved at Anna. If in a past life, this was Anna below 1 person and above 10,000 people. A ruthless person who can slaughter half of the state's zombies with just 1 person. But now, she is just an insecure female college student. Thank you. Thank you, Master. Thank you for saving me. After Anna approached, she still lowered her head and looked at her toes. Oh. So how do you thank me? Chen Feng smiled lightly, dragged Anna's chin, and asked gently. This scene completely melted Anna's heart. For some unknown reason, she only felt her legs weak and her whole body hot and dry, there is a hot current beneath her that is fiercely stimulating her. Chapter 10. Anna without worldly experience. Teach you how to fight. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Anna without worldly experience. Teach you how to play poker. Ah. Suddenly, Anna felt her mind dizzy and out of balance. The whole person collapsed straight down. However, quick-eyed and quick-handed, Chen Feng grabbed it. Chen Feng raised his eyebrows, slightly surprised. My body is so stiff, obviously, I haven't experienced it before. Chen Feng guessed, it is very likely that it is the reason for poverty in families from childhood to adulthood, make her develop an insecure and sensitive personality. This is not enough confidence to make contact with other men. And for girls like this, most of them can be considered as treasure level. Brand new, tender and absolutely indescribable. Suddenly, Chen Feng gave a gentle smile, idle and idle, it's good to tease Anna more. After all, this girl is a queen below 1 person and above 10,000 people in the apocalypse. The kind he can't even touch the edge of. Immediately, Chen Feng pressed his mouth to Anna's swan neck, gently speaking from ear to ear. Anna. Can you play cards? Chen Feng wrapped himself in a bathrobe, shaking the red wine in his hand and savoring it carefully. Anna sat quietly there. Woo. In no time, Anna's crying could be heard. What's going on? Did you feel wronged? Chen Feng frowned and asked. Girls like Anna, he also has a lot of contact with them. But like those who cry and cry, Anna is really the first one. No. You are my favor. Master. I'm happy. But I feel very uncomfortable. Anna muttered incessantly, unsure of what to express for a moment. After a moment, she patted her chest, forcing herself to calm down. I have a sister's. She, like me, borrowed money and can't repay it. Her name is Collier. She's a very good girl. Anna touched her tears and sobbed, saying. It can also be seen from this that Anna can also be considered a person with a strong emotional and moral character, although she felt happy for herself, but I am still worried about my friends in my heart. But it was that damn apocalypse that turned her into a cold apocalyptic queen. Let her become a cold machine without emotions, slaughtering zombies. Coral. No, right. How could it be so coincidental? Upon hearing this, Chen Feng's eyebrows unconsciously raised. Heartbroken. He found that, is your luck a bit overwhelming? The name Collier is also familiar to Chen Feng. Like Anna, Kal is also one of the super awakeners of the apocalypse, known as the Valkyrie of the Wasteland. The strongest mechanic of the apocalyptic era, I have once crafted weapons that can destroy heaven and earth, also one of the top powerhouses in the apocalypse. It is said that the weapon she crafted, gently waved, zombies within a few hundred meters will be directly cut in half, with unimaginable power. Unexpectedly, did she have this kind of relationship with Anna before the end of the world? Are both female college students unable to afford high loans? What do you think? This sisters is very important to you. Chen Feng sat at his desk and spoke calmly. The tone has no waves. Step by step. Just as she finished speaking, Anna ran to Chen Feng's side and knelt down. Master. Master. I want to beg you. Can you save her? I know. I'm not qualified to make any demands from you. Anna became increasingly disheartened as she spoke, her head hanging down fiercely. She knew that she was indeed going too far. After all, she has already been saved, so she should have the confidence to be grateful. To put it bluntly, she is a slave, why should she demand her master? Anna. Today's performance was decent, just treat it as a reward for you, right? Chen Feng drank the red wine in his mouth and casually agreed. For him, saving people now is just a matter of doing it casually. If Anna wants to save others, he will definitely not agree, and even teach her a lesson to make her realize his weight. But fortunately, Anna has a relatively clear understanding of her. After all, Collier can also be considered a super awakener, it's better to be a smooth sailing person. It can also be considered as storing some advanced combat power for oneself in the apocalypse. Moreover, to treat women, one must have rewards and punishments. Thank you. Thank you, Master. Anna was pleasantly surprised when she heard Chen Feng's words. She didn't expect her own owner to really agree. But on second thought, the person in front of her is a significant figure that she cannot compare to. Perhaps they only agreed because they were in a happy mood at this moment. But even so, she still firmly remembers this favor in her heart. Subsequently, Chen Feng began to plan his hoarding trip for tomorrow. At present, what is ultimately needed is still food, next are some young livestock. Then came the seeds, with these, we can ensure a steady flow of food. Then came the military industry. Individual weapons and equipment such as automatic rifles, semi-automatic rifles, grenades, and shells. In addition, there are also weapons of mass destruction such as heavy machine guns. The rest are coal, oil, steel, gold, silver, copper, and other heavy metal items.